All right, Peter here from Fuel for Fathers. Today we're breaking down why you're so tired. As soon as you get home from work, you power through a 10-hour shift, you're sharp on site, you're getting the job done, but the second you walk through that front door, it's like your body just shuts down. You can barely make it through dinner without your eyes closing. This isn't weakness, and it's not just physical exhaustion from the work itself. So here's what's happening. You've been running on a tank that's been emptying all day, and the moment your brain recognizes you're in a safe environment, it stops forcing you to stay alert. Your home is the signal that you can finally stop pushing, and your body takes that opportunity immediately. Let me explain what's actually going on physiologically. Throughout your workday, especially if you're in construction, trades, or shift work, your body is producing cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, but it's not all bad. It's what keeps you alert, focused, and able to respond to demands when you're on a job site, managing tasks, dealing with deadlines, staying safe around equipment. Your cortisol levels stay elevated, keep you functioning, but cortisol is expensive. It costs your body energy to maintain those elevated levels all day. Your adrenal glands are pumping it out constantly, and it's keeping you going even when you're physically tired. You might have been running on 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but cortisol is masking that fatigue while you're at work. The second you get home, your brain starts to recognize environmental cues: your front door, your couch, the smell of your house, seeing your family. These are all signals to your nervous system that you're no longer in work mode. You're safe. You don't need to be alert anymore. So cortisol starts to drop rapidly. When cortisol crashes, all that accumulated fatigue that was being masked suddenly hits you at once. It's like you've been holding back a flood all day, and the moment you open the gate, everything rushes through. That's why you can feel perfectly functional at 4:30 p.m. on site, but completely wiped by 5:15 p.m. when you're sitting on the couch at home. There's also something called decision fatigue. Every single choice you make during the day, from what tool to grab, to how to solve a problem, to what to say to a client or coworker, it all uses up mental energy. By the time you get home, you've already made hundreds of micro decisions. Your brain's glucose reserves are depleted, and you've got nothing left for thinking about dinner, helping with homework, or even just holding a conversation. Then there's the physical component. Even if your job isn't heavy manual labor, just being upright, moving around, staying focused for 8 to 10 hours straight takes a toll. Your muscles have been working, your cardiovascular system has been active, and your body has been burning through glycogen stores. When you finally sit down at home, your body recognizes it can start the recovery process, and that process feels like exhaustion. Most blokes think this means they're out of shape, or they're not eating right, or they're just getting older and can't handle it anymore. But that's not what this is. This is a normal physiological response to prolonged stress and effort. Your body is doing exactly what it's supposed to do when it transitions from work mode to rest mode. The problem is, when you crash this hard at home, you don't have energy left for your family. You can't engage with your kids, you're short with your partner, and you end up just zoning out in front of the TV or your phone until bedtime. That's frustrating because you want to be present, but you physically feel like you've got nothing left. Here's the thing. You can't eliminate this crash entirely, but you can reduce how severe it is by managing your energy throughout the day and creating a better transition between work and home. So what can you actually do about it? First, manage your blood sugar during the day. If you're skipping meals or just grabbing quick carbs and sugar, your energy levels are spiking and crashing all day long. By the time you get home, you're running on empty. Eat regular meals with protein and fat to keep your blood sugar stable, a proper lunch around midday, and if you're doing long shifts, a small snack mid-afternoon, something like nuts, jerky, a protein bar. You're not trying to load up on food, you're just preventing your glucose from bottoming out. Second, create a transition ritual between work and home. Instead of walking straight through the door and collapsing, give yourself 10 or 15 minutes to decompress, sit in your car, or ute for 5 minutes. Take a short walk around the block, change out of your work clothes before you engage with anyone. This gives your nervous system time to shift gears gradually instead of slamming from work mode to home mode in an instant. Some dads find it helps to do something mildly physical during that transition, a quick 5-minute stretch, few push-ups, even just rolling your shoulders and neck. It sounds counterintuitive when you're tired, but light movement can actually help regulate your cortisol drop instead of letting it crash all at once. Third, consider your caffeine timing. If you're smashing coffee all day to stay alert, and your last coffee is at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., you're riding a caffeine wave right up until you get home, and then it's wearing off at exactly the wrong time. Try cutting your caffeine intake off by 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., or at least switching to green tea in the afternoon so the drop-off is more gradual. And if you can, protect the first 15 to 20 minutes when you get home. Communicate with your partner that you need a quick buffer before you engage with the family. That's not you being selfish, that's you managing your energy so you can actually be present instead of irritable and checked out. Sit down, have some water, maybe eat something small if you haven't had food in a few hours. Let your body start the recovery process before you're expected to jump into dad duties. The other thing is sleep. I know, obvious, but if you're only getting 5 or 6 hours regularly, you're starting every day already behind on energy. That means you're relying even more on cortisol to push through, and the crash at the end of the day is going to be worse. Even an extra hour of sleep at night makes a measurable difference in how you feel when you get home the next day. Bottom line, that total exhaustion when you walk through the door isn't a sign you're weak or broken. It's your cortisol dropping, your decision fatigue catching up, and your body finally recognizing it's safe to stop pushing. You can't eliminate it, but you can soften the landing by managing blood sugar, creating a transition ritual, timing your caffeine better, and protecting a small buffer when you first get home. You're not failing your family by being tired. You're just human, and your body's reacting the way it's designed to after a long day of work. Thanks to Father Fuel for sponsoring us, giving fathers energy when it matters most.